Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. We are two people typically spending approximately $60 a week on groceries, but not this week. And why is that interesting? Because we actually had company this week. So I was thinking that we were going to be maybe definitely pushing the budget, getting a bunch of special items, and that just didn't happen. I sourced over the last couple of weeks some ingredients for a special meal that I wanted to make when we were having company over. And so you will see that happening this week. Check out the videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you would do so. Share the videos, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Smoothie today, more of the Has Cap, but this time I added in a little bit of the orange juice. It also has some Swiss chard from our garden and about a half a scoop of protein powder. And a banana. And here we have the smoothies. I will say that adding that little bit of orange juice was really, really good. Just gave it that little bit of a different flavor. Delicious. Okay, finally, the procrastination of the red pepper jelly is over. In the pot here, I have what's going to be red pepper jelly. This is going to be cranberry pepper jelly, and this is going to be Has-Cap pepper jelly. I'm going to use the same recipe for this, just substituting the Has-Caps for the cranberries, and hope that turns out okay. This is all of the ingredients except the pectin. It indicates that I'm supposed to puree this first, and I started to puree it, and it went everywhere. And I can't remember if the last time I did this, I might have actually used my blender to puree it, not a hand blender. Maybe that's why I don't remember there being so much mess and so much chunks. This is what I've got out of what I processed this morning. These are regular red pepper jelly. These two are cranberry pepper jelly. These ones are Has-Cap pepper jelly. It's pretty liquidy still. I'm not sure. I may have to reprocess that and add more pectin. But everything else is looking good so far. So far this week, we were at $27.96. I shopped at Sobeys, Foodland, Walmart, and Avery's. At Foodland, oh, I don't even have my things organized in order of where I got them. Let me just move a couple things around here. Okay. At Foodland, I got strawberries, $3.99, chips, $3.50. Yes, we splurged on the good ones. At Avery's, I got a whole pineapple for $2.22 and some sugar snap peas, and they were $3.60. At Sobeys, I got hot dog buns, $4.79. I got these Wild Wonders little cherry tomatoes. These were on for $3.99, and it says it's a pint. I'm curious of how many grams that is. I don't know. And then I bought grapes. I've been wanting just a few grapes for a charcuterie board that we're making. They weren't on sale anywhere this week. So I got this small amount of pack, so I didn't buy the entire package. It was $3.69. I know, very pricey for some grapes. And at Walmart, I got a block of lactose-free cream cheese, and that was $3.18. There are other things that I do have my eye on this week, but as of now, this is all that I have. This is a big work in progress. So I have been compiling ingredients for a massive charcuterie board for the last several weeks. I like to spread out the sourcing of the expensive stuff. My sister and her family are here visiting. You see little hands here working away. That is my niece and my sister. We are making two massive charcuterie boards. She brought cheese with her. My niece is giving up some of her Halloween candy. My sister brought some crackers. She's got all kinds of good things going with all kinds of our good things. This is a work in progress, and I will show when it is all done. Here is the final product. This looks so good. We have black olives. Those came from my pantry. Clementines, meats. Those are things that I sourced. Strawberries from this week. The boursin I sourced. Green peppers, I already had those. Grapes this week. Pickles I already had. Those crackers are from Dollarama. Those ones I really like. These ones are from my sister. Here is some delicious Halloween candies from my niece. Apples from my sister. More olives. Those are some of those little Ziggy's cheese that I got from the Flash Food last week. Tomatoes, snap peas. Oh, there's these little things. These are also from my niece. These are, I don't know, little sticks. And my sister brought some red pepper jelly. This looks so amazing. And now we're going to eat. We are having breakfast wraps for lunch today, kind of a brunch. It's a little early for lunch. It is potatoes and peppers and sausage and eggs all together. I'm going to fold this up in a wrap. And yeah, yummy. I know this doesn't look like much, but it is going to be delicious to eat, especially with the ketchup. I forgot, I'm also having half a bagel with Hascap jam. This is another item that we took out of the freezer. I'm not exactly sure when we got this lobster, what the story was around it. I've forgotten. And it was, or this is the body of the lobster. Oh, yeah, it's the body. Just the claws are gone. I pulled this out yesterday because we had company. And I was thinking that we could make a hot lobster dip or hot seafood dip in the evening. I totally forgot that we had that Gouda and pepper dip from Costco, which we used instead. So now we are going to shell this and we are going to try to make a lobster mac and cheese for supper. And depending on how much lobster we get out of it, we'll see if there's enough left to do something else. Without the claws, probably not, but we'll assess that once we get it shelled. The handsome one's going to do the work. Here is what we were able to get from the lobster. I'm going to make 2 cups of dry macaroni. We are going to make mac and cheese. I'm going to then put it in a baking dish, top it with cheese, and we are going to bake it in the oven. The macaroni is done. I am going to add the lobster. We'll give the lobster a good stir in. I'm going to add some bacon bits as well and some spices. Chives would be good in this, I think. I'm going to look and see what I have. Okay, I have it in the baking dish. I'm going to top this with some Parmesan cheese and some cheddar cheese, and then we'll bake it at 350. This looks really, really good. I can hear it sizzling inside. It's quite hot. I'm going to plate it, let it cool a bit so that we can eat. I'm looking forward to it. Lobster mac and cheese. I've never made this before. Lobster mac and cheese. And you can see some of the lobster right there. So good. It smells really good. I am making a small soup to get a couple lunches out of it. I have a very, very small portion of some ground turkey that came out of the freezer, and carrots, onion, beef broth, and then I'll just kind of scrounge around in the fridge and see what else I have. I have some lentils and some barley. I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of each. I actually did less than 1/4 cup of barley. I have a little bit of a sweet potato. I don't think I'm going to put the whole thing in, but just a little bit, maybe half of that. I had leftover tomato paste in the fridge and some celery, so we'll add those in. I haven't made bread for a while, so I'm going to put in this loaf of bread in the bread maker. It is an honey oatmeal recipe. And hopefully this will be done in time to go with the soup. We're almost at a boil. It's starting to foam up a bit. That must be the tomato paste that I added in there. It smells good. Oh, I added some broccoli and you can see that green. Soup. The bread's not quite ready yet. I used a setting on the bread machine that I've never used before. It's called Super Rapid. It did it in an hour, like the kneading, the rising, the baking. This is steaming hot, like crazy hot. I had to use oven mitts to take it out. I think this is okay. I don't think I'd want to use this setting all the time. The loaf is really dense. We are having hot dogs on the barbecue tonight. Quick and simple supper. Similar, but not exactly the same. Mine have ketchup. The handsome one is a no for ketchup. He's got cheese whiz. We both have mustard and a little bit of homemade relish. Smoothies for lunch today. This was the last of my processed Hascap juice. I've got tons of Hascap still in the freezer, but this is the last of the processed stuff I have, and I don't plan on processing anything for a while. It's a lot of work. Leftover lobster mac and cheese, topped with a little more Parmesan cheese and some cracked black pepper. Soup and homemade bread and butter for lunch today. I am making a pineapple chicken sheet pan dinner tonight for supper. I cut the pineapple that I had. I just used the whole pineapple. There is sweet peppers in here, red and orange, and those are left from that little bag of mini peppers that I got when I was making the pepper rings in case I needed them for color. But then my chili peppers ended up turning red anyway, so I didn't need to use them. It has some snap peas in here. It has onions in here. I haven't got the chicken in here yet. It's taking a little longer to thaw than what I thought that it was, so I'm just doing all this work first. I have the oven preheated. The recipe that I use calls for coconut oil, but I don't have any, so I just put a little canola oil in here, and then I am going to add in this seasoning and bake it. We're going to serve it with rice. This looks pretty good on the sheet, and I'm going to get it in the oven. Recipe says to cook for 16 minutes or until the chicken is done. So I just brought it out. We'd like to see it cooked a little bit longer. I just gave everything a really good stir. We're going to put it back in. I think we'll start with maybe 5 minutes or 6 minutes back in. Okay, I'm starting with a bit of rice. I'm going to layer the pineapple chicken on top of the rice, and then it says to top it with a little bit of lime juice. So I have lime juice, so I'm going to do that too. Finally trying some of that granola cereal that I bought at Costco a couple weeks ago. These are more of those quesadillas that I got in a bulk pack at Costco that we don't love. So we're going to have one each for lunch today, and we are going to pair it with some of the homemade soup I made. So soup and a little quesadilla. Lunch is served. I've got these two hamburger patties that I picked up on clearance at some point during the summer. So this is almost a pound of lean ground beef. These are thawing. This is a package of some black beans and some multi beans. I'm going to thaw these out. I'm going to make a small batch of chili for supper tonight, and then we'll have the leftovers tomorrow night with hot dogs, and we'll make chili dogs, and that will use up the rest of the hot dog buns that we have. In here is the ground beef, tomatoes, mushrooms, onions, peppers, one celery stalk. I am going to fry this all up and then see what else we can add in. I'll add the beans after this is cooked, and the spices. Coming along nice so far. I haven't added the spices yet, or the beans. Wait for the meat to get a little more cooked and the vegetables as well. Chili for supper. Looks really good. I did a little taste test. Tastes good. I have decided to do a little baking. I am going to make a cheesecake. This was a mix recipe, actually quite an old one. You can't get them anymore. It was eggnog flavored. Typically, you would need 2 pie shells for this quantity, but I decided I'm going to make the 1 pie shell and I'm going to make the other ones in like cupcake forms, so just little ones, just with no crust on the bottom. Yeah, I didn't need any other ingredients. I had everything on hand. The cheesecake turned out phenomenal. I made the one in the graham crust. This is like a little mini loaf pan. I made this, and then I made 6 cupcake sized individual cheesecakes. And this has been chilling, but we ate the little mini ones. So this is all we have left. We are having the quesadillas and soup again for lunch today. At least these quesadillas are not all smashed up. I actually enjoyed the quesadilla more yesterday when I was dipping it in the soup than I did when we were just having them with salsa. So this is a good way for us to eat them up and actually enjoy it and not think like, oh great, yes, we're having the quesadillas. Soup and a quesadilla. I'm making bread again. Just getting ready to turn it on. I used the #1 setting for the very first time when I made bread this week at the super rapid. It made the loaf in an hour, like everything said and done in an hour. It was quite dense. I'm going to try the basic light, so setting #3, and we are going to see what that turns out with this recipe. The recipes that I use the most actually just come out of the little book that came with the bread maker. And this is the one that I typically default to a lot. It's an oatmeal, so 10 to 12 ounces of water, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons honey, 1.5 tablespoons of butter or margarine, 2/3 of a cup of oatmeal, 3 1/4 cups of flour. It says bread flour. I just use all-purpose flour, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. These are all items that I have in my kitchen pretty much at all times. So for me, this is a real easy one to throw together. Another one that is a favorite of mine is this Italian herb, and I do make this one often as well. 3 cups of flour, and then of course it has spices in it: parsley, onion flakes, basil, garlic powder. We like this one quite a bit, and sometimes I just randomly put in whatever spices I happen to have. Like sometimes rosemary goes in there, thyme. Flexible with the herb. This is quite a difference from the bread that I made with the rapid feature. Huge, huge difference. And it was the exact same recipe, exact same ingredients. So I guess patience does pay off. This took 3 hours and 20 minutes, and that rapid one was less than 60 minutes. Leftover chili works perfect as chili cheese dogs. The handsome one has Cheese Whiz on his chili cheese dogs, and I actually have grated cheese on mine. I've ketchup under that little bit of chili, and the handsome one, I think he put mustard on his. Did you put mustard?
Yes.
Mustard. Yummy. We had a really good week. I want to make a suggestion. Whenever there's a week that you are tight for cash, maybe something is broken, you need to replace it, maybe you need to get an oil change, whatever it happens to be, you can always, one time only, you don't need to say I'm going to spend this amount of money forever each week moving forward, but one time only, you could do, hey, I am going to just spend $25 this week, not a penny more. I'm going to use that to supplement stuff that I already have in the house, and kind of as a challenge, save your grocery budget to use it for that special or extra or unexpected thing that has come up, and creatively try to eat from your house. 1 week. Anybody can do it for 1 week. I do it all the time, but anybody can do it for 1 week. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, I might or might not have the answers. Share your comments and share the video. Thanks so much, everybody.